My goal is to tell stories through my art.
This is not a sport for the faint of heart.
I'm a videographer, I'm a creative, I'm a camera junkie. I'm helping these teams share their stories.
I'm Mitch from MeLe Media. I'm out from the West Coast, the best coast, Portland, Oregon. I own a media production company and we do a lot of motorsports content. So 6 years ago I started my first company, which is alive and thriving today, MeLe Design Firm. We started to see a demand for professional video content creation.
I got dragged into here from Mitch, honestly. We started MeLe Design Firm and I met Mitch through a completely separate avenue, but once we started working together, he really was like, hey, we're starting to sponsor some of these teams in the ARA. Like, our business is starting to work. We need to go and create some content. Let's go to the Olympus rally. We'd never been to a rally ever. And I was like, yeah, let's go photograph a rally. I wasn't even doing video at the time. I was strictly doing still photos. And we shot Olympus, and then I was like, how do we do this in a more professional capacity? And then we started looking into being media at events, and it snowballed so hard from there. But it all stemmed from just wanting to support the people who were already supporting us. Started going to a lot of rallies suddenly, just filming everything we could.
So I'm Chris, I'm from Chelmsford, Massachusetts. I am a rally photographer. I've always been artistic, mostly music when I was growing up. I started playing with cameras as an adult. I had a sister who loved photography and was a photographer, so talking to her a lot, it got me into photography more. And then she actually, unfortunately, passed away a couple years ago, and that was sort of a spark for me to really start taking photography more seriously.
I'm just gonna get a B-roll shot of you guys walking towards the jump.
You want me to walk like this?
No.
No, look serious.
Yeah, I mean, Recce, so Recce, short for reconnaissance, basically scouting spots on stage to find where we can get photo and video is so important.
Maps are downloading, directions are in. Look at that. Look at that peanut butter. No jelly. I don't ruin peanut butter with jelly. Cut that, Mike, too.
You'll have to cut it because none of this is good because your ass is stuffing your face with a peanut butter sandwich.
Oh, this is rally, dude.
Terrible little stage start, at least for filming.
Oh, this is kind of cool.
And it's kind of tough to shoot. You could remote cam it though. This would be a great remote shot.
You know, we spend a lot of time on Recce and we use map applications on our mobile devices to sort of take us around the stages, and then we can use those phone apps to drop pins where we think there's interesting points and we can attach photos to it. So we go out there and we try to find spots that work for both photo and video, which is a challenge.
It's a cool bit of road, like what it's doing down here, but there's nowhere to capture a lot of it.
As a photographer, I'm not always looking for the same thing that these guys are looking for video. So we'll go out on Recce, we'll pick spots, we'll disagree, we'll have arguments sometimes, but it's all about just finding that right compromise.
I mean, this would be kind of a cool panning shot for spectators.
Yeah, you'll get a car, you'll get headlights at you.
For a moment, yeah.
This is actually a pretty start, guys. Let's stop.
It goes right into like a 3.
See, I'd be down to film this as stage 1 start. Let's check this out. I call the start line the spicy line. I think it's more fun.
I was thinking remote camera here, looking at the corner down low, and then handheld over there.
I was super excited to come here until I read all the things about like the ticks and the snakes and the poison ivy, and I was like, I mean, I'm the kind of shooter where like I just go through the woods. I don't stop, I don't think. I know where I need to be and how fast I need to get there. And I really don't spend a whole lot of time of going, should I step here?
Yeah, so that is poison ivy, the ones that are flowering. I wonder if that makes it even more potent. Lots of poison ivy. This is a great spot to stand to photograph this crest right here. But it's like all poison ivy.
Sofer is unique, especially to us on the MeLe Media side, because we've never been to this particular national rally. So very tight technical stages. The margin of error, especially with this year's orientation, seems to be very small. The geography of it and just the natural habitat make it challenging. We've got ticks, we've got copperheads, we've got angry bees, the heat and humidity, the dust, all super challenging, but also kind of fun as well when we go out there to shoot. I personally love just the complexity in the stages.
This is kind of cool. And we have a road coming up that could be parking. Oh, this is really cool. I like this.
Where the overhang is kind of.
Oh, I like this. Looking that way. Ooh. I want to get out and check this out. So we're on stage 3, Top Gun. We saw this spot. It's pretty neat. There's a lot of sort of kinks back and forth with some camber as well. For a lot of the cars, you'll get a lot of body language in the cars going left and right. And then also what I really like about this too is I like tunnels with shadows. So I like shooting tree tunnels where there's shadow light. And there's, because you can frame the car in the shadow or emerging from the shadow or right in the light. And there's a lot of that here, so.
I love these artistic shots that I get all the time, and I'm always trying to find ways to incorporate these artistic shots within the package. Just utilizing remote cams to get safer shots instead, so that I can spend more time getting creative stuff. And it's a hard little balance. If you want to get into this, don't worry about gear. Don't spend thousands of dollars. Don't worry if you have an old camera or a new camera or a 2.8 lens or a variable aperture lens. I think it's easy to get drugged down into the weeds of the gear. Find gear that works for you. Learn how to use your equipment.
All right, you're taking your next right there.
See it. So we're on SS5, another transition here that we're checking out. There's really been no access roads on this stage, which makes it kind of technical from a transportation and logistics standpoint. But we found a place to at least stuff our massive Recce vehicle if we decide to shoot it. And we've got a nice downhill into a hairpin, as you'll see as Keenan and Neely are going to demo it for us. They'll be, in theory, should be carrying a lot of that speed down with them. So just again, out trying to scout to see if we can stuff 3 legitimate shooters here and make it make sense for capturing, documenting the rally in a unique and fascinating way.
And then when we get home, when we go to make our plan, we pull up those maps, we pull up the stage schedule, we try to figure out, okay, we liked this spot. If we shoot here, we can park here, and to get to the next stage is going to take us this amount of time, and we sort of piece the puzzle together that way.
So I agree, tomorrow we should probably start on stage 3. I did not like much of 2 at all. I think we had 1 spot marked on. I have 1 spot marked on it at least. And it's 3 and 7. So if we look at the schedule.
Oh yeah, I'm down with that.
If you hit 3, you're not hitting anything else on the first loop.
When it's actually go time, when it's time to start the race, we have a plan, a pretty solid plan going into it, a lot of pre-production technically going into that day. We know where we're going to be because of the recce, the extensive recce that we've done. We know where we're going to shoot, what angles, frame rates that we're going to be trying to capture. Granted, as with everything in motorsports, especially stage rally, things change, so you have to be super adaptable.
So we need to.
We need a plan A and a plan B, because what they did last year was they added the dust window after the first stage, which that screwed us up because we went in with one plan and then all of a sudden it threw our plan out. We had to adjust.
This lower area, we liked a lot of that, and it was hikeable from the front. But that would sacrifice the launch of 3, so it would be you at 2.
Yeah. I don't need to film launches though for a photo, so.
What gives me the drive? The more that I've started to learn who these people are in the cars, the drivers and co-drivers, the more I've started to really care way more about them. It has become important that I'm helping these teams share their stories. They're not out there filming their stages by themselves. They're in a car racing, and cell phone clips only look so good. And I really want these people to be able to share their stories. The sport can't grow if we don't have anybody representing anybody. And it's hard to hire a team. It's hard to be a photographer or a videographer out here. Like, these are brutal environments. It's hard on the equipment, it's hard on us, it's hard on the cars and the drivers. Like, this is a tough sport. I'll stick with my digital guys, but I respect the hell out of it. Yeah, we need to see further down the jump. So now we're in a weird spot. I don't love how blocked my angle is of the actual jump. I need to figure out something quick. I think one other benefit we have though is while my shot's not perfect, it's unique, and I have 3 other cameras looking at this jump. So while I may not be getting exactly what I want, 3 of those cameras are. You ever get one thing for your video camera? The top handle. This thing is the best. Plus you get those JDM angles. So to be able to like succeed and have good results and make really cool pictures and videos and art for these people that they can then use to share like this insane sport of rally that we do, like why would you not want to be involved in that? We're in a point where we're really documenting history.
The actual sort of taking the picture is a second, if that, but there's a lot of work that happens before and after that. So we typically, on the days that we're shooting, we get up really early. We have to transit out and be on the rally stages at a certain period, at a certain time, to make sure we're there and we're ready and we're set up. Once we get to the spot, we're kind of eyeing what the car is going to be doing, what the road's doing, how we can frame up the shot. And it's usually work, right up till the cars start coming.
Definitely the long lens angle. I'm going to be up on this berm right here, shooting down into this neat sort of character of the road. I just got to figure out where I want to set up my remote camera, wide angle. So I was thinking we got this little ditch here. It's a bit of a danger zone for a camera, but if I set up a remote camera, maybe the exit of the ditch. This is kind of a neat angle too, actually.
5, Charter 5, this is net control.
These are my fast primary cards. These are the backup cards. So I shoot RAW to these ones, and then I shoot JPEG to these as like a backup. I try to switch between stages just in case I lose one. I don't lose an entire day of work. Change my mind. I go high angle instead. So remote cameras are always tough. It's always a bit of a gamble because you got to start it, before the stage starts, and a lot of times you can't get back to it to check that it's doing the right thing you want it to do. You just got to trust it.
Start ride.
Car 00 has entered stage 6 at 1342.
I'm gonna change up the camera setup. I'm gonna handheld that. I'm gonna go double camera. Double handheld. Two hands, two cameras. So I can hold the wide angle for this shot in this hand and push the trigger on the zoom lens, come down, get them doing.
As cliche as it is to say, the people kind of keep me coming back. There's, especially in American rally, since it's grassroots, there's people from all different backgrounds, and getting to interact with them and help tell their stories is really what motivates me. I mean, we have some really long days, so just being into it for the cool pictures of cars doing cool things is not enough motivation to get you to keep doing this. But I think being able to tell those stories with the camera is that's what keeps me motivated. So.
So my typical rally day starts at about midnight because I usually don't get to bed until midnight, and then I don't actually fall asleep until about 3 a.m. So I usually take a nap about 3 a.m. to about 6:30 a.m. and then I get up again and I function the rest of the day until about midnight again. I guess a typical rally day is early wake up, try and get the team fed, go out to the stages, and usually we try and hit 2 to 3 stages a day. I'm running 2 to 3 cameras per stage I hit, so I'm always super busy trying to manage multiple cameras, make sure things get started, stopped, things of that nature. When we get home, it's dump all the footage onto the computer, get everything out of the cameras so it's safe, backed up. Sometimes we have teams that need delivery like same day. It's a mad rush to get those done, and that's why I don't get to bed until 3:30 some nights. So a lot of this is probably poison ivy. I also love getting the camera like as low to the ground as I can. Just makes it look cool. And one of the ways I sometimes do that is by flipping this tripod upside down. The camera gets super duper low, but it's still nice and stable, supported. So I think I might do something like that. And then it's just a risk of like how close do I want to let it be to the road. All right, we're rolling. Good luck, camera. I love shooting the start of any stage because there's this like crazy electric feeling of like, the whole forest goes quiet for a second, and then like Brandon pulls up and it's just
here.
So I'm trying to figure out how to shoot this jump safely. The angle I want is like right here, but I obviously cannot stand here. We'll see as the car's coming over the crest. There's no safe way to stand here. So thinking about putting a remote here, but remotes are a little dicey when you're relying on a remote to catch a car that's jumping. So yeah, I was trying to scope it out.
Well, I'm also trying to find a way to film this jump a bit better. I want to stand at the crest of it and do what I call a whip pan, which is when I stay pretty wide on my shot. And as the cars come through, I literally like just whip the camera to the side. So it's just a really fast pan. I also have a remote cam I need to figure out how to set up both at that end and that end. So I'm trying to figure out the 360 right now with weird like tripod adapters because there's no trees to hook it up to. I usually find trees.
Yeah, this is the angle right here for sure. You just got to figure out if I'm going to do this, where's a good spot to stick the remote. Wish I had 2 long lenses. I only have 1 long lens.
Hey, I got one.
I don't want to use yours.
I got one.
I don't want to use yours.
I got one.
I don't want to use yours.
Okay.
So right here, I'm gonna put this 360 cam and it's gonna be hanging out kind of in this area that I see cars definitely might cut. So I'm way off the cut. It's definitely not gonna be in the way. But because this tripod is kind of small, I don't want any of the wind the cars generate to pull this camera off. So I'm actually gonna leave my bag here holding down one of the legs of the tripod. It's not gonna stop anything from moving if a car comes through here and completely hits everything, but it will stop the wind from blowing the camera over. So that's a positive.
I mean, this is pretty cool. Like if you get down, obviously I wouldn't, even a remote camera I wouldn't put right there, but if you put one like back here, because you can get like this little crest in front of it too.
Some snake grass over here. I'm like low-key a little nervous to be in it.
You look so sad over there. I have this remote set up on the crest, framed around with a little bit of greenery. So even if the cars don't jump, at least it's a nice, pretty framed shot. And then I think I'm gonna go wide angle with the second camera and with them as they come by.
Kind of like yesterday.
Kind of like yesterday, yeah. Actually, very, very similar setup to yesterday. I'm not gonna try that double camera, the whole two cameras at once thing that I did yesterday though. That didn't work out.
Talk about your GoPro technique there. Talk about
Oh yeah, so I put the GoPro on top of the camera and record like POV video. It's a pretty neat angle that people seem to like, where you can see kind of what I'm doing with the camera. You see the car go by in video, and then the shot after that.
I love that they're coming out of a turn on the other side of this crest. The cars are going to be coming in a little bit sideways and I'll get a good shot of that. And then hopefully, I'm at the top of the crest, so the chances of them landing near me is very, very low. I feel actually pretty safe on this side. I also have this really large tree and a couple more bits of woods that I can go run into should I need to be safe. It'll be really easy for me to kind of just lean out, get this shot, be nowhere near the road surface. Hopefully they're going to be in the air for the entire duration up to maybe about where that man down there is standing. And big old air, big fast speed, lots of blurry pixels as I whip the camera to the right. We suddenly, after that last car, can see nothing approaching us anymore. Purely sound is the only thing we have going to help us. It's barely just starting to clear now between the next car. We might see dust windows popping up soon.
Sick. Start going to rallies. Start shooting from spectator points. You know, especially because a lot of rally photography is understanding procedure and having plans for where we're gonna shoot, how we're gonna get there, how much time it's gonna take and things like that. So I would say to start with understanding the rally, right? Start small. Everyone wants to just jump into it and start big right away. That's not what I did. I kind of started small and sort of played around a little bit, got to know how rallies work, got to know the people. That's the other thing. You know, I was really introducing myself to people and getting to know everyone and building those relationships, and that has helped springboard this crazy growth the last couple of years for us.
Really important, rally snacks. We're on our feet, moving around all day. Gotta keep yourself fueled. Peanut butter. They're really on it through here. Look at this loose stuff kicking out. Like they're, whew. Oh my God. Okay, we need to figure out how to put the 360, how much they're cutting in.
I always like to preview what the 360 cam looks like. It's looking pretty sweet. I don't know if you can see that, but they're gonna come flying through here and ditch hook right below the camera. Should be a really cool shot.
And continuing out the road, the camber is in a good direction. It's not off camber, so it doesn't really upset the car. Once they get it set, assuming they set it right, they should just be able to ride that out and accelerate through for the most part, regardless of drivetrain. So We're going to be filming it wide. I'll catch them. Technically, you'll be able to see the cars further down, but that's not the most exciting shot just because of how dense it is. So we'll try to start our shot here and pan with them. Just a quick little pan and a super wide to show corner entry and some excitement.
All right, we still got a little bit of time. Just double check my remote.
Nope, they're both running.
Start 15, this is
Cool.
net control.
Sounds like net control has announced the stage hot. So Brandon should be here within the next 5 minutes, hopefully.
Now let's just hurry up and wait. This is the filming power stance. Important pro tip, letting the shot exist where you finish your pan or your shot, especially for video, is key. So those sound bites, like it feels weird if you just get the, you gotta let the sound ruminate for a bit. Makes my soul feel alive. I feel there's so many life lessons that come out of finishing a rally, whether you're a volunteer, whether you're a competitor, a seasoned or new media member, crew member. When you finish a rally, get to the end, it just adds character and experience under your belt. And that's what's kept me coming back year after year after year. The cars are great. They're all super cool. Those of us that are like car nuts nerd out about some of the details, but it's really the people and the story. It's inspiring because like nobody has it easy. There's always just very unique challenges that everybody has to address to get here, and then you have to try to survive the rally. So it's just this massive, massive endurance and like test on your will. So I love doing that. I mean, it's just, like I said, it builds character.
Oh my god, it's still filming. Lumix every time, dude. The freaking best.